Spurs Bros, welcome into episode 45 of the Spurs Bros podcast. Fun episode ahead. We're talking schedule leaks, Jeremy Sochan extension, updates on Project Marvel. We're going to wrap up with 2K ratings for some of the top Spurs players and some minor skills that remind us of Spurs players of old. Hit that subscribe button down below, leave some comments, join along, let us know what comes to mind on some of these topics. It was a fun episode. Also, Alec is repping that Spurs Bros surfer hat, so let us know if you want one of those. But here comes episode 45.
Spurs Bros! Welcome to episode number 45, the DeJuan Blair episode of the Spurs Bros podcast. Dude, what's that?
Eating DeJuan Blair, known for
Eating,
his water runs late night.
what is it, number three kind of guy?
Number three kind of guy. Triple meat, triple cheese. Big old DeJuan.
I love DeJuan Blair, man.
Love that guy.
The DeJuan Blair episode of the Spurs Bros podcast. If you made it this far, thanks for sticking around. We appreciate you guys being here with us during the summertime while it's basically crickets out here. Reagan, what did you think about DeJuan Blair? Did you like him on our team? He played with us for 4 years.
I loved him, dude. I remember drafting him, and that's when I found out that he had zero ACLs in either of his knees. And I was like, how is this possible? And then, for me, a few years went by. I tore my ACL senior year of high school, and I was like, I had just watched DeJuan Blair like go nuts with no ACLs at all. So I was like, all right, well, if he can play in the NBA, I can surely like come back from this. So a little bit of inspiration there. But dude, he was fun. 6'7". He was a big boy. He was, like Stuart said, he liked to eat 270 pounds official weight. So if that's his official weight, he was probably a little bit chunkier than that.
I always liked him. Yeah, like I said, 6'8". He was a perfect little role player next to Tim. We always had those guys, Fabricio in there. It turned into Boris.
Yeah.
But yeah, DeJuan was just in there, and then between. I always liked DeJuan. Good role player. Played his role good with the Spurs. But yeah, I think Eating ended up getting the best of him in the end.
Yeah, as we kind of did some research before this, he left. I guess what you in 2013 or after the 2013 season, we lost
After
the finals,
2013, yeah.
and I guess his role had diminished a lot, and so he ended up signing with the Mavs, and he was mad about it that he didn't play more, and he thought that we would have won the ship if we would have played him more. I don't know if that's true, but what I do know is that we did upgrade after DeJuan Blair, as much as I did love him as well. We did upgrade with Bobo, so that was great. I did like his run. I loved his effort, and like we said, crafty finisher around the rim,
Mhm.
and great compliment to Timmy D, man. I mean, it's kind of what Timmy D liked to play with. So
Yeah, and his jersey number was 45. He had a 45-inch vertical too. So he's kind of like Zion light,
Mhm.
like
kind of,
low key,
kind
like
of.
6'7", 270, 45-inch vertical. Like boy likes to eat too much. That's Zion Williamson, just without the pop of Zion, if you will.
Dude, that's a freak. That is an absolute freak. If he was like 250, 245, I mean, I don't even know. I don't even, he'd be a different player, obviously. He wouldn't be playing that like sort of big role, maybe. But then again, I don't know. But hey, Spurs Bros, we've got some leaks. And as we're recording this, actually, we're about to get the drop for the NBA 2025, 2026 NBA calendar schedules for the whole year. So can't wait to talk to you about that. But what did happen was there was a leak, and we know that we are playing the Mavs in Dallas on opening day, and we're playing the Thunder on Christmas Day in OKC. Initial thoughts about that? I mean, I think it makes sense to pair up rookies, potential rookies of the year, right? Cooper Flag and Dylan Harper, and then you've got the obviously San Antonio versus Dallas matchup. It makes a lot of sense.
Only the third time in NBA history that the number one and number two overall picks from the past year's draft are facing each other on opening night. It happened once in like the 60s and once in the mid 2010s. I think Andrew Wiggins was one of the two. It might have been Wiggins and Towns, but I mean, it's going to draw some numbers. I mean, the Spurs Mavs have opened up the season the last 2 years against each other on opening night. So, kind of lack of creativity there. But this time it's the added bump of Harper and Flag and Wemby and AD. Klay Thompson and De'Aaron Fox. Like, there's a lot of names that are going to be in this matchup. I'm very excited. I think the Mavs don't stand much of a chance with Kyrie not being back until
Wow.
the wintertime. So I think the Spurs are going to come out having lost the last two seasons opening night to the Mavericks. I think they're going to come out and make a big time statement, big time win in Dallas against the old guys. So I think Wemby's going to go nuts. De'Aaron Fox is going to be running wild. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I hope so. I'd want something to happen, kind of like I guess at this point already shoot 9 years ago or so. It was that opening night against the Warriors. I think they had just won it possibly, and that was kind of
Yep.
Jonathan Simmons coming out party. We came out on national television and just smoked them by like 25 on opening night. That was pretty dope. We would
Love
love for
that.
something like that to happen. Obviously, Dallas isn't a defending champion, but like you just said, right, all the names, the big names will be playing that night. Everyone's coming off a full summer of getting right, getting ready to play. So should be a good game. But yeah, I mean, without Kyrie, if we're not beating them, it wouldn't be the best start to the season. But it's obviously just night one. Nerves are there, fresh season to start, all the cameras and lights on you. So we'll see, but definitely exciting that we got that out there.
Yeah. Well, here's what I think is assuming AD is going to be healthy for the season, I want Wemby to finally go at AD. They always play well against each other. Like both of them play great against each other. Wemby always puts up big numbers, but so does AD. And
Yeah.
AD always tends to get the best of Wemby
Yeah.
as well. Like he'll put up a bigger stat line and I think
And get the win.
yeah, and get the
Yeah.
win. And so I hope maybe KG, I don't know what they did together, but maybe he rubbed up on him a little bit and he just, steps up and throws down on him a couple times, blocks his shit, gets in his face. I'd love to see
Yeah.
that. That would be ideal.
And like Reagan said, I mean, we're a new team this year. They're in it like the past couple of seasons. It was playing against Luca on opening night. But yeah, just I mean, even though it's a different team, it's still Dallas Mavericks, still a rival. We've lost to them 2 years in a row on opening night with the world watching. Let's go out there and get a dub this time around.
Yep.
Look, I know a lot of people don't pay a lot of attention to the early season NBA. It's kind of like Christmas. Some people view as like the kickoff to the season when they tune in. But one of my favorite days of the NBA calendar is opening night
Same.
because guys have been itching for that, organized competition for 4, 5, 6 months. And the anticipation and everything you've been working on, new statements want to be made. Fox is going to come with purpose. Wemby's going to look to be making a statement. He's returning. Harper's going to look to make a statement against Flag. Like everybody has worked for months and is ready to put their new skills on display. And it's a nationally televised game. It's going to be marketed for weeks, months now. Like I'm very, very excited to see everybody get all hyped. Like the intensity is going to be high. It's a long time rivalry. Spurs, Mavs, 1 versus 2, Wemby, AD. Like let's go,
I
dude. It's
know.
it's around the corner.
It's around the corner. I mean, dude, I love everything about that time because it's also like fall time. It's I just feel it's basketball time, right? As well. So you get the cool air. It's right by Halloween time. Like it's just the best feeling in the world. It feels like Christmas before Christmas, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
that's all the hoop heads out there. And then yeah, speaking of Christmas Day is again the Thunder we play against them. I don't know. Hopefully they're not coming out and destroying guys already so early in the season. I'd like to win that game on Christmas Day as well, but hey, we'll see. I have no thoughts about that. It's gonna be way too early. We don't know who's gonna play.
What's 2 months in the
Yeah,
season, injuries could have happened, but like you don't know. Yeah.
yeah. How well we're
You
playing.
never know. I know people are already talking about, and I'm guilty of it, but I had to kind of take a step back and remember, like people are going to be talking about the Chet Wemby matchup. But let's pump the brakes on the Chet Wemby rivalry. Like I think that was put to bed 2 years ago. Now Wemby clears Chet. It's really not close. I know Chet just went and won a championship, being led by SGA and J Dub for the Thunder, but he's a third option on a team. If you switch Wemby and Chet, they're the Thunder are like an all time team,
Yeah.
and the Spurs are probably worse off than they are now with Chet. So I don't think the comparison is there. They've separated themselves. They're in different categories of player. Wemby's in the MVP discussion this upcoming season. Chet is a fantastic role player, third option kind of guy. So let's pump the brakes on tying those two together for the rest of their careers.
Well, that and also, yes, he did win a ring. Chet won a ring, of course, of course, of course. But He also separated himself whenever he shot 1% from the 3-point line in the finals and kind of just shit a brick and
Missed some big time free throws
miss some
throughout
free
the
throw. Yeah,
playoffs. Yeah,
yeah.
like in the Denver series and then finals as well. Yeah, I mean, doesn't have that clutch gene in him. Just hey, cool. You're a champion, but again, like Reagan said, you're the third best, maybe sometimes fourth best on your team.
Yep.
Wemby's should be the best in the NBA soon. So
Totally. Hey, also, I just saw this as well, but the NBA Cup is also leaked as well. For those who don't remember, I mean, the NBA Cup started, what was it, a couple years ago at this point already. And I think we almost got out of our group last season, but
yeah,
we ended up
if we beat Phoenix, we would have made it to Vegas.
Yeah,
in
big letdown against Phoenix last year.
big letdown. It's always at the beginning, like right before Christmas time, that part of the season. We're playing, this is our group this time and this year around. The Rockets, Warriors, Blazers, and Nuggets. That sounds awful. That sounds
Tough group to be in.
this is
That's tough.
gosh. I mean, my biggest thing is if we win a big game and then our letdown after that, after we win a big game. And like imagine we could have lost to the Blazers, the only team that we probably should beat in that group. Oh my gosh, that would suck. But yeah, that's the schedule there. We go versus the Rockets at home, versus the Warriors at home, and then at Blazers, at Nuggets. So yeah, that's gonna be, also interesting to see. Hopefully we're sharper than expected that early in the season. That would be our only best bet to hopefully win our group, is hopefully these other guys and teams haven't figured themselves out yet.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Rockets are projected kind of second best team in the West right now. I mean, they've got a lot. They were the 2 seed last year. They added Kevin Durant, made some good moves. I think honestly, it's F Houston always, but they made some good moves. The Warriors, if their big three is healthy, I think they can still compete with anybody. The Blazers, who knows what they look like, but they've got a lot of talent. And the Nuggets have the best player on the planet right now, still, and the Joker. So we could easily go 0-4. We could also go 4-0. Like it's going to be really interesting. I think a lot is going to, like you said, going to depend on the games in between these cup games. Like who are we playing in the game or two between those cup matchups? How rested are we? Is it a back to back? Was it tough? Was it easy? Is it a letdown? Is it we took a tough L. We got to pick it back up. A lot to look at, but tough group.
We'll see how all that unfolds. Yeah, that's going to be tough. Stu, anything that you'd like to talk about next?
We can talk real quick about Jeremy. I think he became eligible for his extension. You've been seeing on X people throwing out number. What do y'all think he's worth? I don't think we're going to extend him this summer. I think we will wait till next summer to see kind of what he comes back with this year, if he developed his shot, whatever. But, what number would y'all say right now if we extend him tomorrow? What would y'all be happy with? What would y'all say is an overpay? What do you think he's worth right now in today's market?
I have to constantly adjust my whatever, just understanding
Numbers.
reality of like
How
NBA
much
contract.
they get paid.
Yeah, because I think Keldon number would be a perfect sweet spot. But I think he would demand more than that. And so I'm trying to think right in the middle. I think 20 million, that would suffice for me. I think that could work. Beyond that, I'd start to clench my teeth a little bit. I don't know. Reagan, you?
Yeah, I haven't seen a ton of things thrown out. I know somebody earlier in the summer was saying like, look at the Jabari Smith extension, which was 5 for 125.
Nope.
No, I'll keel over if that happens. I love Jeremy, but he's not worth that. There's some pretty good players on contending teams right now that are kind of at that 4 for 80 range. Is that the Keldon Johnson contract?
Less than
4
that,
for
but
80.
he got signed a while back. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, mine went 4 for 80. Now it was on a declining year.
4 for 74, Keldon Johnson,
Okay.
3 years ago. So
perfect.
yeah, I mean, I'd be down for the same kind of scale, 4 for 80, or like 3 for 70 kind of thing. I don't know, somewhere in there.
20 years top for me. I'm in that 15 to 18 range. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think we'll do it this summer anyway. So by next summer, hell, what if he comes out he's a 34% three-point shooter this year on 3 or 4 attempts a game? All right, bro, we'll sign you to whatever.
Well,
maybe that 5 for 125, but that's if we can get Devin's contract out. If you're like, it's just you can't have multiple bad contracts on one team in the CBA today. We already all kind of agree that Devin's on a bad contract right now. We're kind of tied to him for a couple of years, we assume or think. So we definitely can't up and overpay Jeremy too.
What
Well,
about like Lou Dort for the Thunder signed 5 years, 82 million.
oh,
Average annual salary
great.
16.5.
Great. Love that. Yeah.
Perfect.
Jeremy, do that for it. Yeah. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, I like that for OKC. Now, here's the thought though, is this sort of chess move. So while we're announcing this, talking about this contracts, it was also announced that Jeremy Sohan, how we were excited to watch him play for Poland, he came out and said that, hey, he was unfortunately not going to be able to play because he has a strain in his calf. And that, as we know, is those things linger, kind of like hamstrings. You don't want to mess with those because we've seen what happened time and time again the past few seasons
Tyrese Halliburton.
what that leads to, exactly right, is an Achilles problem or snap, which is a massive problem. So do you take that news and look at his past and say, look, you've had back injuries, you've had this injury, do you take that and say, but we still like you on the team, and you haven't proven anything yet. We'd love for you to prove something. And we think you probably improved your 3-point percentage, but maybe we try to sign him now to I guess, a smaller contract, and hopefully that he performs and then he stays healthy and he gives us that value that he's been working on his game in the offseason and kind of just plays well for us. Or do we wait and say, like, it's kind of a risk either way, but what would y'all rather do?
I think in situations like this, with a third, 3 year coming into his fourth season, he was a top 10 pick. There will be a market for Jeremy Sohan if he hits free agency. Like, no matter how we feel about him, there will be a significant market. There will be 4 to 5 teams that would love to add him to their roster. And there's a significant amount of teams in 2026 that will have a solid amount of cap space. So to me, lock in the deal now this season, preferably before we play any games, because for a guy like Jeremy, the price will always go up. A 3, 4 year player that's a top 10 pick, a lot of pedigree, a lot of promise, a lot of upside. The price will go up. The earlier you can lock it in, the better. Brian Wright, look at Jerry Jones. He's about to overpay $100 million for CeeDee Lamb, for Dak Prescott, and for Micah Parsons, just because he waited that extra year to sign those guys. Get the extension done. I know it's a different sport, but get the extension done. Sign him up. Like we just said, if we can get him for like 4 for 60 or 4 for 70 and call it a day and not have to worry about it, great. That's a great price, especially as the cap takes a couple increases. Like, that's my philosophy. A guy that we like and we think there's a market for, just get it done.
Do we think it's an actual injury, or was it Spurs saying, hey, don't risk anything? We have a big season coming up. Because if it is an actual calf strain, like, again, no offense, but like, it's definitely fair to say he's just injury prone at this point. He's played 3 years in the league. I think he played like 52 games his first year. Don't quote me on this, but 2 years ago it was like 70 something games, which is good. No, not really many people do play all 82 in today's NBA. But then last year missed like 30 games again. It was like 54 games last year or something. So 2 out of his 3 years, and he's still young. So imagine that body once he's later in his prime and more banged up. He, like, the young guys should be playing a lot more right now. If it is a real calf strain and it's just from kind of, not really going fully hard all summer, and he already got injured again, it's fair to say the guy's injury prone. And do we want to overpay him? It's tough.
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a conversation that we could break down in another episode or whatever, because yeah, imagine signing him, overpaying, and then having two
And
guys that you need to offload,
then he's off.
aka Jeremy and
He
Devin.
misses another 30 games this season.
Yeah,
2 months of ball.
right. That would be hard to move
Essentially
up.
dead cap. And like you said, Alec, with the CBA right now, dead cap is a
It's a nightmare.
non-starter. Can't
Yep.
afford it.
Yep.
I think the fact that they shut him down for Eurobasket and told him to come home to San Antonio means that it's a real injury.
Right.
No.
And I think
Like, there's enough of a strain.
you're right. And then the fact that Brian literally came out and was like, no, yeah, it was great that he got checked out by the doctors there, but come on back to San Antonio, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
enough. Get back on the plane.
Yeah. It's like there's too much, there's too much writing on this season. We've invested too much in this roster at this point for our, the fifth or sixth best guy to
Yep.
mess with a eventual Achilles problem heading into year 4.
Yeah. I don't know. That's another good one. I'm glad you brought that up, Stu. Yeah, that's a delicate balance. I mean, again, Spurs Bros, I encourage you to just like let us know what you think on that. Do you pay now and hopefully send him to a cheaper deal just based off of current and past stats and data? Or do you wait a whole year, see what happens, see if he is truly injury prone, and see if he is out another 20, 30 games? Or he just plays great, he makes it through the year healthy, and shoots 33, 34, 5% from three. And then what? Do you wait for it then? So I don't
As the
know.
price goes up.
Yeah,
Again, like if you believe in this guy and you think he's going to take a leap, he's a restricted free agent after next season. The price will go up. So
yep.
if you think he's going to take that leap, you've been monitoring his offseason progress and you think he's going to play well this season, you do the deal now.
Right. Moving along here, as we grow closer to the season, I'm not a huge 2K guy. I don't play that much, if at all, ever. But I do keep up with the ratings because it's a big thing. I mean, who's the guy who comes with the rating? Ronnie or something?
Yeah, Ronnie 2K,
Yeah,
whatever.
Ronnie 2K. I mean, I don't know if you saw that on Twitter or X or whatever, how he's just like he gets approached by NBA guys who are like all the time who are like, bro, I'm way too low. I'm way too low in 2K. Like, how could you do this to me? Like people take this shit real, real, real serious. So some rankings are coming out already, or ratings, I should say, not rankings. And so the Spurs aren't listed a lot, but when we are listed, we are number one or number two, which is great. So Wemby is a 99 in shot blocking on 2K, which is, as to be expected. Hey, I didn't know you'd be listed as a 99, though. I guess it makes sense if you're going to list somebody a 99. But then they have Chet as a 97. He's number two. Chet as a 97. Do y'all think, I know he's a great shot blocker, but do y'all think he's better than AD or Evan Mobley or
Jared
whatever?
Allen,
Probably
Evan
Jared
Mobley.
Allen. There's a lot of good
Yeah.
shot blockers in the league, but I mean, it
Dude, these rankings to
doesn't
me,
fucking mean anything. Yeah.
it's kind of like rage bait, low key. Like the two guys in Cleveland we just named aren't even in this top 10. They've got Chet, Time Lord, Klingon, Kessler, Bona, then Jonathan Isaac, Gafford, Lively, and Jay Huff. Like Jay Huff is like, big 7 foot athletic rangy dude, but top 10 shot blocker? No. I would put Luke Cornett on this list
I
before
have to
I'm
say,
putting Jay Huff. Like, come on now.
yeah.
So I don't know. This kind of arbitrary. I think I would have been more upset about anything if Wemby hadn't been a 99 block because
Chet
like
99, Wemby 97. That would have been something to talk about.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
fun.
Then I would have been up in arms for sure.
So next one is top 10 speed with ball. So they got De'Aaron Fox as number one, which
It's accurate.
that's accurate. I still think it's accurate.
X.
He's 97, and he's ahead of even guys like, obviously, John Morant. That's pretty amazing. Good for him. Nothing really to talk about there. But then lastly is Dylan Harper is listed as a 78 going into his rookie season, and he's number two on that list, obviously, right behind Cooper Flagg, who I believe is listed as an 82. So that all makes sense. Again, we're not listed in a lot of categories, but whenever we do, we're top one or two. So that's great. I mean, I can't avoid this again because this is just sort of like in the news.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
the
the
only
number one
thing in
thing
the
right
news.
now.
But Project Marvel continues to be like the talk of the town, literally. We can't escape from it. And I wish we could, but Gina's been everywhere. Our mayor, San Antonio's mayor, has been literally everywhere on KSAT 12, on whatever, wherever, interviews galore, talking about this and answering questions. But she's not really saying anything different. She's saying the exact same thing, and it's stuff that we addressed on last episode, and it's actually making me upset. Right? We need more information. We need more due diligence. We need to do more due diligence. I've already mentioned that. But the reason I'm bringing it up again is because, well, Reagan, do you want to kind of recount the sort of last week that was up into this
Yeah,
point?
so I mean, right after we recorded last week and kind of said, hey, Project Marvels has been called for, strategic pause by the mayor. And like 2 hours after we recorded, of course, like altering news came out. It's like, hey, she's kind of getting overruled by city council here. Like the majority is saying we need to move this forward and continue to work towards an agreement to get a term sheet agreed to and get the information out there for the citizens to kind of digest ahead of the November elections so that we can vote on whether or not we're going to support the funding of this project. And that stance is gaining momentum by the day this week. More council members are coming out and speaking in favor of this, saying we need to work with the Spurs. They're a linchpin of this community. They mean too much to San Antonio. They've always done well. We need to negotiate in good faith. But yeah, like you said, Gina, mayor,
She
she just
continues.
keeps coming out and saying, hold on, we need more info. Another independent firm. We need another study. We need them to put up more money for this. We can't have the burden of this. But the reality of the situation is the Spurs have committed over $1 billion to this project that's in the range of 3.1 to 3.5 billion right now. That includes contributions towards not only the arena, but the surrounding entertainment district, the land bridge, upgrades to the Alamo Dome, and any project overrun costs. So if the budget is 3.1 and it comes out to 3.2, they're going to be on the hook for that extra 100 million. That's operating in good faith. The Spurs are. So she continues to message poorly. I think if you break it down and remove all the pandemonium around what she's saying and look at the pure message, it's we need some more information. We need more due diligence. And like I said last week, that's fine. But don't come out here and put a pause, a kibosh on the whole idea that it needs to move forward. Get your extra study in here, put it out, let us vote on it.
Right. Right. Because again, like what I want to know is what will that extra information avail? What will that do? What are you looking for? Right? Or are you just looking for reasons to say no? That's the thing. It's like, are you looking for reasons to say no? And if you do know what you want, then just say it up front what you're looking for. Hey, if this will do this, this, and this for us, then I'm all for it. But like she hasn't really like said any of that.
Not what politicians do.
No, exactly. They're looking for reasons. Again, what I said last week, I know it was maybe a little controversial, but they want to back into decisions. They want to find a reason to say no or to back into stuff because they want to maintain their thing versus look forward and build a new thing, right? And look toward the future. So this is the latest thing that dropped, which was just today. She was on KSAT and was talking with, I forget who the two reporters are, and they both asked her literally, hey, are you worried that if you don't get this done, that the Spurs will leave San Antonio? And that's kind of what she did. Yeah, she kind of just shrugged and she basically said, hey, well, if that does happen, that's on the Spurs.
Yeah.
Like that's up to the Spurs.
Quote unquote. That's up to the Spurs what they want to do. Like what the
Yeah. I don't know. It just to me that rubs me the wrong way. And you know what that did to me? After watching that, I actually did have an existential moment. I really did have for at least 5 minutes. I blanked out and I thought about what would a Spurs-less San Antonio look like? Like, would I be homeless? Would I be?
Look at Seattle, bro. Look at Oklahoma City. Like Oklahoma City.
Seattle at least has the Seahawks. They have the Kraken. So it's hard to even compare them. They have two teams. We are like the only major city in the country that only has one team to rely on.
Yes. And so
Don Harris made a great point.
What's that?
Don Harris made a great point. He came out earlier today and kind of pointed, or I guess yesterday, kind of pointed to Oklahoma City's mayor a full year before their new arena proposition went to vote and kind of broke down that, they put out the right messaging ahead of time. He was in favor of this. They remember what their city was like before the Thunder got there. And God forbid if they were to lose the Thunder for any reason, it would be horrible. The Thunder have only been around for 15 years, 16 years, something like that. And they've already green-lighted a new arena. Locals are paying a 1% sales tax for that. They'll pay $950 million. The Thunder will pay only $50 million for that arena. Wow. Yeah, and the Spurs are offering again $500 million for specifically the arena, and another $500 million for the surrounding projects. So
it's going to help the rest of downtown too. The Alamo Dome, the surrounding areas, build a whole community down there. It's just
you can look at all these mixed use real estate developments that are popping up with the green lights of new sports arenas, whether it be in the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, or the NHL. You can look at the Atlanta Braves, they call it the Battery, and there's a ton of retail, multifamily apartments, other entertainment, bars, restaurants, everything surrounding there. And it's bringing in over $250 million in revenue every quarter. I think it was, or maybe it was 25 million a month or something, but it was some astronomical number of revenue opportunities that just were not there. And this is not an arena in a vacuum like the Frost Banks or the SBC Center was when it was put up. We were talking about this. You were talking about this, Alec. Like we put it by a graveyard in, next to nothing. And the expectation was other stuff would migrate towards it.
Right.
But no. This is very different. This is putting it in the heart of downtown and putting the mixed use developments surrounding it to create an entire district where the revenue is built in, the opportunity, the business, the foot traffic, the car traffic is built in, ready to go. So it's a very different setup than SBC. You cannot point to the SBC Center or the Alamo Dome, which were just standalone arenas. This is an entirely different setup, and it requires an entirely different mindset as we approach the vote.
Yep. Yep. 1,000%. And later on in that 2-minute clip that, Gina was a part of on KSAT, she kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if she watched the Spurs Bros podcast, because she said exactly what we said, or what I said, which was like, the Spurs are it's a huge part of our culture, our identity, like as a city. And then she had comma, but, and she said basically the same thing that she mentioned at the beginning, which was just like, we need more information. We just need to, we know. And then she keeps on comparing us to Philadelphia. It's like, bro, Philly's like, because they're the sixth largest city and we're the seventh largest city, and how it's like
Same thing as said about Seattle. Philly has like 5 other sports teams that they have MLB,
Yeah.
NHL, they have the Eagles. We only have the Spurs. That's all we have.
yes,
How
exactly.
are we, aside from being next to each other on population numbers, how are we similar to Philly? A Northeast, like East Coast, completely different in like economic setup, a completely different
Vibe.
geographical spread. Like
Yeah.
it's dense there, it's spread out in SA. Like in what way are we similar to Philly? That's what you want to be like Philly?
It just upsets me, because again, I had that thought of, wow, like I can't imagine, would I be homeless? Would I stop watching like NBA? I don't know. I mean, I'd probably watch Wemby and stuff, but would I care as much?
We even said,
Would I
we talked about it like last week, like, or I think I asked you, I was like, what if the Spurs, yes, they did leave SA, but they came to Austin where you currently reside right now. Like, would that be at least be a win for you? Then you get to go to more games. What? And he's like, still no. And it's just
Yeah.
like, it would not be the same. The Austin Spurs compared to the San Antonio, like, just would not be the same. We all grew up in SA. We know what it means to the city. Like, it doesn't matter if it came to where we're living right now, just would never be the same.
Yeah, yeah, that's just my thought. And it terrifies me. It terrifies me to even have that thought. The fact that they even asked that question twice, maybe even 3 times in 2 minutes, of like, yeah, but Gina, what if they leave? Like, what if you just like stonewall this and they leave? Well, that's their fault. That's on them. Like, geez, I don't know.
That's terrifying.
It
Like
is.
that is terrifying. As someone who grew up in San Antonio my entire life until an adult, like that is a terrifying prospect.
Yeah, yeah. So either way, I guess the Spurs Bros, that's their homework. Do that exercise. What would it feel like? What would it feel like if the Spurs left San Antonio? Would it be the same? Probably not. Let's see here. But that's really that's it on the major news front. Reagan, anything else that you wanted to mention before then?
To change the mood a little bit, Brett Usher tweeted this, and it kind of like took basketball Twitter by storm this past few days. He said, name an underappreciated skill or micro skill in basketball. And he said, like, ball knowers came through on this one. So many great answers. If you go through the comments on there, like, it's actually kind of cool to see all the little intricate stuff that you don't think about on a day to day. What's a micro skill or an underappreciated skill in basketball for y'all?
Mm. Well, and again, how about we just relate this to the Spurs? I've got a few micro skills that a few former Spurs players have possessed that I really love. And I want to mention them, but I don't know if you have any off the top of your head as far as just in general, or even just relating it back to the Spurs.
Will like a micro skill count as like just a pump fake? I feel like
Yes.
that's underappreciated, and we saw how well that obviously worked with Manu. Kobe was a master of the pump fake, so we're talking about 2 all-time greats right there. I mean, the pump fake can take you a long way that you don't see many people do often, and it's just, yeah, I mean, as we saw, worked so well. If we're trying to relate to the Spurs, for Manu could be king of the pump fake, over exaggerated, but the fuckers jumped every single time. They couldn't resist, and he'd blow right by him. And then, yeah, talk Kobe, king of the pump fake. So yeah, I like the pump fake.
Yeah, that's a good one. Reagan, you got anything?
Yeah, a big one that that I thought of, and a lot of people in the comments on this thread pointed out, was screening angles. And I think of like bigs that have come through San Antonio to play alongside or back up Tim Duncan. And I feel like the ones that stuck around, Nesterovic, splitter, those types of guys,
Fun.
Alberto, DeJuan, I guess. Like something they all did well was understand screening angles, situations, when to flip a screen, when to set a flat screen, Gortat screens, Verjao screens. They had the whole bag of screens, in their repertoire. And the guys that kind of filtered out quickly didn't didn't get that, or they couldn't figure out the timing for the guards or whatever it was. They couldn't get close enough or get wide enough or stay set on their screen. So like setting screens and the angles that you have to take for it was one that stuck out for me.
That's good.
I like it.
So I've got three, and these are all from Spurs players. So two of them are one Spurs player, and they're micro skills from a not so micro player, aka Tim Duncan.
I'm gonna guess Timmy D.
Timmy D. I think the bank shot, bro. Who
Yeah.
literally who uses the bank shot anymore, or just even in general, even in Timmy's day?
Yeah, no one used it. Yeah.
No one used it. Yet he was literally the master, and he was like out by. I mean, sometimes he could be out by the high school 3-point line, even a little even further. He'd still shoot that off the damn glass from that angle. He'd have it. But if he, God forbid, he got to that 10-foot spot or 11-foot, that's money. It is game over. And it's right hand. He liked it on the left side too. But man, I just even gosh, I'm going off. I'm going off now.
Dude, yeah. I was watching some clips from his last season in the NBA, and just like when he had no lift anymore, but he would still get over that right shoulder, that fadeaway right off the glass. Man, it was so dirty. And I'm like, nobody uses that shot now.
No,
and it's there. Like it's there.
Yep. I know, even in going back to you, Kobe. Kobe tried to learn from Tim Duncan, I think during an All-Star game, about like how to use the bank better. Like what was his thing? But even in the middle of the floor, like it wasn't uncommon for him to catch a ball and throw it off the, right above the rim, and it just bang bang, bounce in. Like,
Yeah.
why not? Why not do that if you got that touch and so I like that. The second skill that he has, so same player, micro skill is, and we've talked about this before, is blocking shots, but not embarrassingly like just swatting the hell out of it and blocking shots out of bounds, but tipping balls to himself, or tipping or blocking a shot just inbounds to another teammate or something. Sure. That was a huge one, because there's time for that. There's a time to embarrass somebody, but I feel like a lot of that has created so much more opportunities, fast break, like it's just a winning play that definitely not many people today use or talk about enough, or at least I see pointed out in the NBA. So
I think Wemby's going to develop that. I think Tim Duncan's in his ear. Like, I think he'll 100%. Like, there will be times, like you said, to smack it into the 10th row, but he could probably do that on every block. So the more that he can, hit it off the glass, or keep it in play, or kind of soft tip it to somebody. Ben Lamers did that for us in AAU in high school. Yeah, it's a huge thing. And especially if that goes out to Fox, start the fast break right away off the block, that's an easy 2 points.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Or any of our guards for that matter. So that's number two. And then number three is moving without the ball. And I think of Marco Bellinelli, just the absolute probably best I've seen. Marco Bellinelli, especially before I used to hate, watching him when he literally couldn't move anymore, like on defense. It was him and Bryn Forbes. Like, that was so terrible to watch on defense. Like, just literally the number one and number two worst defenders in the league. But before that, during our winning days, Marco Bellinelli, that was such a treat to watch. Him moving around the ball, constantly moving, back cut here, but he never it was interesting because he never oversold it, and never, how they say don't fake a back cut.
Yeah.
He knew how to do it just enough to where like our guys who are trying to, throw a dump down pass wouldn't throw it. Like he knew exactly how to do it. He was just a freaking master at it. Yeah. And he'd have guys turning their heads, and he'd be on the 3-point line and catching and whop. It was beautiful. So that's I
actually love this one from you, dude. I have two things on this Marco Bellinelli topic. Did y'all see Jaylen Brown a few days ago came out and said that the hardest player that he's ever had to guard in the NBA was Marco Bellinelli off ball?
Oh, shit. No,
he said he was just like dying. He was so in shape. He never stopped. It was like Curry just running around. He was like, he had me in a blender all the time. Like, I was dead dog tired after games against Marco on the Spurs because of how much he was running off ball.
Damn.
So that, I thought that was kind of cool. Like, Jaylen Brown's a good defender, and he's talking about Marco Bellinelli off ball is the hardest thing he's had to do.
Yeah, what a pull. He was just phenomenal at it, man. Just phenomenal. I don't know. I think we named some pretty good ones though. I don't know. Spurs, if you have any other ones that we missed, please drop that in the comments. And while you're commenting, please like and subscribe. That'd be awesome. We love you.
But I don't have anything else, fellas.
Yep.
Good.
Let's go.
We're talking about training camp in a couple months, so like with each podcast that goes by, we're that much closer to Spurs basketball, baby.
Totally.
All right, hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. We asked for comments on a few different things this episode, but keep on coming back. We're going to keep pumping out episodes this offseason. And from the Spurs Bros, go Spurs, go.